Well, hello everybody, and Happy New Year 2019. It is the 1st of January 2019. It is once again fairly late in the afternoon. I kind of intended to come out on the bike earlier, but I've had one or two things that I've been doing, and as a result of that, I hadn't actually got out early enough, and so I'm on a bit of a run around later on in the day, and I'm just having a little tootle around, I suppose. Really, probably use up the fuel that I've got in the tank. I've got about 3/4 of a tank of fuel, and I'm planning on heading sort of roughly over towards Squiresy kind of area from where I live, and probably go and grab some food at the end of that run somewhere, and then head back home. I have got all the heated gear because today the temperatures are a little bit lower. It's 5 degrees outside now, so yeah, the temps are a bit lower, but the roads are nice and dry, which is the most important thing, because then of course you don't get into those icy conditions where things get all a bit sketchy. So we're going to have a bit of a runabout, nice and steady, nice and relaxed runabout today. Taking it nice and easy. The one thing I haven't done actually is checked my tyre pressures, which is something I usually try and do. I do feel a little bit softer than normal, but I still think they're okay. I don't know, and I can't remember actually, I don't think this bike, even with all of its wizardry, I think it's an accessory to get tyre pressure monitors on it rather than it being standard. Well, I might be wrong, but I don't know where I would even look in the menu for it. On the BMW GS, the top of the range one, or the RT that I had, both of those had tyre pressure monitors on, told you the pressures in the tyres, which was always quite a nice thing. So yep, the sun's going down over there, and it is of course the time of year that when that sun goes down it gets a little bit killed. So I have actually got the heated gear switched on the very lowest level at the moment, and I've got the heated grips just on on the lowest level too, and yeah, I'm fine at the minute, which is a good thing. The reason why I got the heated gear really in the first place was because concentration on a bike is probably the most important thing, isn't it? So, you know, you want to feel that you can focus on the road ahead and around you and what's going on, rather than feeling cold and shivering and all the rest of it, which you can end up doing if you're feeling the temps. Well, the temps are a bit lower today than they were when I went out on the bike the other day. So of course it's going to be a bit of a sun going down, daytime to nighttime. I'm not sure how long this battery is going to last in the camera, because the other thing as well, not only with GoPro cameras but with all cameras, when the temperatures go down the batteries don't last quite as long. Should we just tootle around this chap? Of course it's going to speed up now that I decide to. Watch this vehicle coming out the junction here, cover my horn moving out in case he does see me, I hope. So first day of 2019, and what does that mean for you? What have you all planned to do in 2019? Well, for me, I'm going to kind of return to what I used to do, which was get out on the bike and go for runs, and if somebody wants to join me, then they give me a shout and we go for a run, and that's about it really. I'm probably not going to go and spend as much time at biker cafes and sort of sitting around places like that. Might do occasionally, but I think my plan this year is to go and visit interesting places and maybe do some videos of the run there, and also possibly around each of those places as well. I'm still planning on working up to retiring at a younger age if I can do, and of course all this stuff with Brexit and the uncertainty that it's bringing on the stock market is having quite an impact on money that I have put away in a negative way, unfortunately, and it may impact my retirement plans. Now, one question that Steve Hornet asked on his video was about pensions, and I'm not a pension advisor or anything like that, but what I do know is that under the current rules and regulations, there is the opportunity to, at 55, retire earlier and draw on your pension, of which 25% of the pot can be taken tax-free. So if you've got pensions put away and you're nearing that kind of age, you might want to look into that and get some independent financial advice. Also, if you haven't got a pension and you're younger and by now you haven't got yourself a decent pension set up, what I would say to you is that life moves on far quicker than you imagine. You know, if you're in your 20s now and you're thinking, oh well, there's no point in me thinking about a pension, absolutely don't leave it any longer whatsoever would be my thoughts on it. Get yourself some independent financial advice, get to understand what's available to you, because certainly if you work for a decent company, they will contribute a significant sum of money towards that pension in addition to whatever you're contributing. So, you know, it could be, for example, like you contribute 5% and they contribute 10% or whatever their arrangement is, but usually their contribution is higher than yours as far as I'm aware, and certainly makes a difference to the pot of money that is put to one side for the time that you retire. And as I said, you know, you're going to be thinking, well, hang on a minute, I'm in my 20s, why on earth do I need to be thinking at this stage about retirement? You know, I'm years away from it, and the truth is you are, but quite often the first 10 years of that pension, it just tootles along nicely, but then in the next kind of 10-15 years it builds much more quickly and exponentially. So it's certainly worth having a pension if you haven't got one already, and in addition to that as well, you will find that life, and you know, people, it doesn't seem like 2 minutes ago since I was in my 20s, let's put it that way, and people will tell you as they're getting older, oh, life goes incredibly quickly, and as you're in the day-to-day drudgery of your life now, you're going to be thinking, God, I wish things would move on quicker, I hate this job, I hate whatever, and it doesn't seem like life moves that quick, but actually, believe you me, it does, and before you know it, you're thinking about sort of well, I suppose in your 20s you're thinking about whether you have the right job a lot of the time, and can you earn more money, should you be earning more money, and you're doing all the things to try and think about whether you can do that, and a lot of it sort of becomes, I suppose, about day-to-day life. How can I enjoy my day-to-day life more, and absolutely no thought whatsoever about the long-term future. So yeah, anyway, that's my little inspirational thought for 2019, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't got a pension, then go and have a look into it, because it could well be the difference between you working for the very rest of your living life and managing to get away from it all a little bit earlier. So that is that bit. I'm telling you, I should turn up my heated gloves a little bit here, because, and I'll turn them up just one notch, because my hands are just starting to get a little bit cool. Slow it down here a little bit. Yeah, it's quite nippy outside. It's 4 degrees now. As soon as that sun goes down at this time of year, the temps drop very quickly. But it is still a beautiful day. The sky is pretty much clear. There's a bit of hazy cloud around the edges, and then a bit of cloud probably in the direction that I'm headed. But apart from that, it's nice to be out on the bike. It is it does feel a bit unusual actually coming out on New Year's Day, because it isn't like, I suppose, the normal. I have been out on bikes in the past on New Year's Day and I've enjoyed rides, but I've usually got up a little bit earlier and done the kind of morning, early afternoon slot. So I think this is probably the first year that I have got my arse into gear a bit late in the day on New Year's Day and still gone for a runabout. But it was better than sitting at home just playing on the Xbox and killing time that way. And I was going to ask you guys as well, what do you do? Do you guys sit on, like I've got a load of bloody stuff that I don't use at home that I really do need to make the effort to put on eBay, and I'm hoping that in the next 4 weeks I'm going to start listing some of that stuff, because I mean I've literally got thousands of pounds worth of stuff, that gadgets, computers, video gear, all sorts of stuff that I just literally don't use, and really need to go on eBay so I can get some money back for them. Do you guys do the same thing? Do you, and things I've done in the past particularly is hang on to stuff thinking I might use that and never using it, and actually the value of it just goes down and down and down and down to a point where it's not even worth putting on eBay anymore. Is that what you guys do, or are you a little bit more sensible with it all? Do you decide quickly? I mean, you possibly don't buy as many crazy things as I do, and therefore you're not in this situation in the first place. But if you do buy stuff and you think, well, I'm not using that, what do? Do you get it on eBay quickly? And if you do, what's the bloody technique to get your arse into gear to do it? Because the one thing that always kind of puts me off a little bit, it's not just listing stuff on eBay, it's all the hassle that comes with getting it the right postage amount and sending it out and posting it and all the rest of it. I suppose it's not really that difficult, but you get a little bit sort of lazier, I think, as you get a little bit older, and you can't be quite arsed to do some of the stuff that maybe, you know, if I were in my 20s I'd be thinking about not giving much thought to and just cracking on with it. I love the way the sun, when it's this golden sunshine, just sort of reflects off the hillside and off the houses, bathes everything in this sort of golden glow. It's a great time for sort of doing photography this kind of time of day at this time of year. But oh, there's another thought. I've got a Canon camera that I don't really use anymore. Need to get that on eBay too. Loads of lenses, loads of carbon from the S1000R that I had, that I removed from it when I traded it in. So that's all bagged up and sitting in my shed. Again, something else that I'm not using because I don't have the BMW S1000R anymore. I should sell that because I'm sure somebody would be interested in that at a decent price. Yes, lots of things to sell on the old eBay. Must get on with it. Also in 2019 I've got to try and get my health sorted out, so I'm probably going to go down the Bupa route to see if I can get this bloody trapped nerve, whatever the hell it is, issue sorted out in my neck and shoulder, and hopefully that'll sort that out, and maybe even try going back to the gym again to get healthier. Of course, at this time of year everybody has it. What is going on here? We're doing 23 miles an hour now in a 30. Has this person been drinking or what? Really don't like the look of how slow this person is going, because they're getting like what you might say is an old person's car, so you can't really use that excuse. But it's somebody who's really tootling along at insanely slow speeds here. We're actually seriously in fear of being overtaken by that bicycle I went round, and I'm just going to gently tootle past this person. Well, I'm gonna go and get a McDonald's, so thank you very much people for watching this video. Have a great 2019. Hope all the things that you're hoping for come true for you. Take care, and we'll speak again soon. Bye bye for now.